to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. And I got a lot to cover, but I want to start here. Charlie Kirk's memorial has been announced, and it looks like a big one. Look at this. Turning Point USA, just a couple hours ago, put this up on X. Join us in celebrating the remarkable life and enduring legacy of Charlie Kirk, an American legend. The morning of Sunday, September 21st, the morning of Sunday, September 21st, at State Farm Stadium, home of the Arizona Cardinals in Glendale, Arizona. And what a beautiful flyer they have. You know, what's been going on in this country, you know, with the last, well, there was even an incident today, which I'm going to get to in just a little bit. But what's been going on in this country the last few days from the left is beyond disgusting. I mean, you know, regardless of what someone's opinion is about Charlie Kirk, you've got an American man who was murdered in front of the world. And for people to disrespect him after what's happened this week, words don't even describe. I mean, it's just as scummy gets. And, you know, what do you expect from the liberals? But this is from the website for the memorial, fightforcharlie.com, and that's for FOR, fightforcharlie.com. And they put together this really nice website, Building a Legacy, Remembering Charlie Kirk, Sunday, September 21st, 2025, State Farm Stadium, Glendale, Arizona. Doors open at 8 a.m. The program begins at 11. Well, I imagine there'll probably be people in line 8 a.m. the day before. Wouldn't you imagine? Absolutely. I mean, there's going to be people in line maybe for days, and it's going to be a sad day too, isn't it? I mean, it's just going to be a sad thing. We'll all be watching it on television. It'll be on Right Side for sure. Do you think they'll carry it live on Fox? I think they will. At least the highlights of it. Do you think they'll carry it on CNN or MSNBC? A tribute to Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's life was a testament to faith, courage, and conviction. From his earliest days, he believed America was worth fighting for, and he dedicated every moment of his 31 years to that cause. He lived with eyes fixed on eternity, grounded in the truth of God's word, and driven by a calling bigger than himself. Charlie was a servant of the Lord. You know, this is so true. And, you know, the longer this goes on with the discussion this week, people are starting to say really what Charlie Kirk was, and his wife has said this, and everyone saying it now, he is a Christian martyr. You know, and now we got this new information about the assassin was living, his roommate was a transgendered person, and President Trump said that was his boyfriend, his girlfriend. It's all too confusing for me to figure out what's what. And it is without question a fact that Charlie Kirk is a Christian martyr. No doubt about it. Charlie was a servant of the Lord, a devoted husband to Erica, a loving father to two beautiful children, and a leader of uncommon clarity and strength. I keep losing my place. He did not seek influence for its own sake. Instead, he poured his life into others, raising up a generation who would be bold in their faith, steadfast in their love of freedom, and unafraid to defend their country. This is from the Charlie Kirk Memorial website, fightforcharlie.com. What began as the vision of an 18-year-old in a small garage in Lemont, Illinois, grew into one of the most powerful grassroots movements in America. Yeah, and probably the most powerful. It, a lot of this is obviously the biggest grassroots organization since Martin Luther King. And there have been other groups, but the other groups were fake because the other grassroots groups, the grassroots organizations, they were put out by Democrats, and those were fake groups for the most part. This is a real thing that a real grassroots activist built. Through Turning Point USA, Charlie ignited a fire in the hearts of tens of millions daily. He showed a generation that truth must never be silenced, that courage is contagious, and that freedom must be protected at all cost. Charlie died doing what he loved, fighting for truth, for faith, for family, and for America. His sacrifice will endure as a guiding light for generations. Though our hearts are heavy, we do not grieve as those without hope. Charlie's legacy endures in his family, in Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action, and in the millions he inspired to live with conviction. We honor him not only with our words, but with our actions. We will move forward together, fighting harder, standing taller, and refusing to surrender. Charlie's life was short, but it was full. It was defined by truth, anchored in faith, and devoted to the country he loved. His legacy will endure for generations, and now he hears the words of Matthew 25:23 from his Lord and Savior. Well done, good and faithful servant. I still can't believe he's gone. And if you go to this website, it's fightforcharlie.com. You can register to go if you can make it to the memorial. I know. Are you guys kind of in the same head that it's still hard to believe that he's gone? If you're new, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. And if you could like the video, that'd be great too. I'd appreciate it. It is hard to believe he's gone still. But you know, these vile Democrats who never miss an opportunity to embarrass themselves. Look at this. Jamil Hill. Let me play this for you guys. This is disgusting. And on the graphic here on the screen, it says, how should Charlie Kirk be remembered? And it's in a question form. Listen to what she says. I mean, keep in mind, as she's saying this, not only has he been murdered, he's in a box at a funeral home waiting for a funeral. And this is what she says about a man who was just murdered by the way, by a Democrat.
The reason he was labeled a white supremacist is because he believed in the superiority of white people, which is why he said that he would be concerned if he saw a black pilot.
Okay, you know, that is so not true about the black pilot. This is one of the big things they're talking about every day since Charlie Kirk was assassinated by this Democrat lunatic, okay? One of the executives from one of the major airlines gave an interview and was bragging about their DEI hires that they've had throughout their entire airline, including 4 pilots. And everyone was talking about that week, including Charlie Kirk on his podcast. And what he said is what a lot of other people said. You know, when the airline's bragging that their pilots are hired with DEI programs, didn't earn it, I wouldn't want to fly on a plane with that airline if they had a minority pilot. Would you? You know, if you go to the airport and they had painted on the side of the plane, this plane flown by a pilot hired by DEI, would you get on that plane with your family? He didn't say that he didn't want to fly on a plane flown by a black pilot. What he said is the airline is telling us that they're not hiring the most qualified pilots. And that casts doubt onto every minority pilot because the airline was bragging about that. I mean, come on. Come on. Do you think she'd get on a plane? Well, I don't know. She's a liberal idiot. Maybe she would. All right, let me rewind it. We'll see what else she has to say.
The reason he was labeled a white supremacist is because he believed in the superiority of white people, which is why he said that he would be concerned if he saw a black pilot, which is why he said that he questioned the brain processing of brilliant minds such as Joy Ann Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Okay. Other members of the Supreme Court have been questioning Ketanji on the Supreme Court. And to call Joy Reid a brilliant mind, let me rewind that. What did she say? How did she describe Joy Reid?
He would be concerned if he saw a black pilot, which is why he said that he questioned the brain processing of brilliant minds such as Joy Ann Reid.
Joy Reid? Joy Reid is a brilliant mind? I haven't heard anybody make that claim before, not even Joy Reid.
And Ketanji Brown Jackson, because he ultimately believed in the superiority of white people. So I don't think I'm being insensitive by bringing that up. And the only reason I feel like I even need to bring that up is because of the counter narrative that is establishing itself. And that's the problem with history and the problem with receipts is that you can't erase the receipts. Well,
everything she said is not true, especially the part about Joy Reid being a brilliant mind. But everything she said was false. And it's what liberals do is they make up these talking points that are not true, and then they repeat each other. I give you an example. There's another one. This DEI pilot thing's one of them. I saw a guy today here on YouTube, liberal guy, and he was attacking President Trump, and he said that President Trump won't condemn those Minnesota Democrats that were killed by this MAGA guy. That's not true. That murderer of those Minnesota Democrats, first of all, was hired for a state job by Waltz, okay, who's a Democrat. And he had in the car, when they arrested him, he had a bunch of flyers for that No Kings event that they had a couple months back, the Democrats. That guy was not MAGA, but that doesn't stop them from saying that he was. And what's going on here, conservatives, we're all in different stages of grief right now after the assassination of the great Charlie Kirk. And the Democrats are going through something too. And a lot of what they're going through is some kind of denial that their rhetoric had anything to do with the assassin. The assassin was a Democrat. Now we got this transgender roommate of his. We know why he did what he did. He told us on the etchings, on the ammo, and on the weapons. And the Democrats, some of them are just outright lying and making these things up. Some of them are just stupid and repeating talking point lies that have been spread all over the place. But a lot of them, I think, are really in denial about the situation because they cannot accept that they have a role here. All right, let's get back to this idiot.
You can't, I learned this a long time ago, and I'm sure you guys have heard this before, is that people don't remember what you do, although a lot of times they do. But more importantly, they remember how you made them feel. And Charlie Kirk, with his words and with his influence, he made a lot of people who were not straight white Christian men feel less than.
Really? Do you think that this woman here, Jamil Hill, do you think she ever sat down and listened to Charlie Kirk speak about anything? All she knows about Charlie Kirk is what other liberals have said about Charlie Kirk. She hasn't sat down and listened to him.
Feel less than human, feel less than qualified, feel a lot of less thans. That's how he made them feel, and that was his entire purpose. So we have room in our big old brains for multiple thoughts, for being upset and angry about what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Oh yeah, she seems really upset and angry about what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Because it says a lot about our political discourse in this moment, but also being reflective enough to surface what also made him somebody whose influence was dangerous.
See, this is the common theme. No matter what these Democrats say, no matter what these liberals do for disclaimers and everything else, it all gets down to the same thing with each and every one of them, and it's what she just says. They are saying basically that the assassination of Charlie Kirk was justifiable. Every single one of them finds a way to justify what happens and blame him for what happened.
In a lot of respect, and contributed to the political atmosphere in which we're living now.
See, there you go. And the political atmosphere is that they lost the election, and the American people have completely rejected the Democrats and their entire woke ideology. They've been rejected by the American people. That's it. And rejection's tough. You ever have a girl break up with you guys? You know what that's like, right? Imagine being broken up by and dumped by the whole nation, because that's what's happened to these liberals.
Before before I sort of move on to a few other things that were on my mind as I thought about this entire tragic incident, I'm tired of white supremacist beliefs being considered a difference of opinion.
Okay, this is nuts. See, they, even after the first political assassination in this country since 1968 and Martin Luther King, they still are going on with this violent rhetoric that was which inspired this monster to do what it is that he did, right? Anyone who disagrees with them, who's conservative and happens to be white, is automatically a white supremacist, a Klansman, a white nationalist. No, it's not the case. We just have a difference of opinion. But because liberals can't win in the debate. You hear me when I'm taking calls from liberals on the program here, or those debates that Charlie Kirk had at the campuses. Liberals can't win in a debate. So what do? They find ways to try to discount you. Oh, well, you're a white supremacist. You're a homophobe. You're this. You're an Islamophobe. You're afraid of immigrants. Things like this, as opposed to debating the issues, because they can't win in a debate. They lose every time. So if you have an opinion that disagrees with them and you're a conservative and you're a white supremacist. After everything that's happened this week, in the national mourning period that we're in, the Democrats still have not toned down their violent rhetoric that has led to I don't know how many murders, right? We had the children that were killed in the church a couple weeks ago in Minneapolis. We've had this.
I'm really sick of that. You know what's the difference of opinion? Is if you like DC and I like Marvel. That's the difference of opinion.
Oh, really?
If you say Drake is the greatest rapper of all time and I think it's Jay-Z, that's a difference of opinion. What's not considered a difference of opinion? If you think black people are inherently inferior to white people, and I think the opposite, that is not a difference of opinion.
Well, who thinks that? Who says that? Where is the video of Charlie Kirk saying anything even close to resembling that? That's what I mean. These liberals like this idiot, they've never heard him speak. They've only heard other liberals talk about him.
That is you being a racist. And we have, unfortunately, put matters of humanity in the bucket of politics where it does not belong. See, it's not political to say that black people are unqualified and inherently criminal. That is
no one has said that but her. I can't listen to her anymore. So we'll get to some other things. But even after everything that's happened, they haven't toned down anything yet. They're still using these insane words and sentences and slanderous statements against him. They're justifying what happened. They're still amping things up. There is not a single responsible person that we've heard on the left since the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Not a single one. I got to tell you, I am just so tired of their crap. I really am. I'm really fed up with it. You know, you would think that they would at least pretend, right? That they would pretend. Look at this story as an example. Look at this. Fox News. Video captures fight erupting at Charlie Kirk vigil after activists shout profanity at crowd. A local Black Lives Matter activist reportedly shouted F Charlie Kirk before sparking a massive vigil brawl. Okay, look at this. A massive fight broke out during a vigil held for Charlie Kirk, the 31-year-old political activist, this is in Fox News, who was assassinated during an event at Utah Valley University on Wednesday, according to video of the incident. The brawl erupted in front of the Idaho State Capitol in Boise the evening of Charlie Kirk's killing, local reports said. A man wearing a white T-shirt and rainbow-colored backpack reportedly shouted, F Charlie Kirk. This is after the assassination. He shouted it into the crowd while on a Lime bike, sparking outrage among attendees. Police later identified him as a local Black Lives Matter activist, according to KIVI television. It's just brutal. Tensions rose when a 51-year-old confronted Wilson, sparking a heated exchange that quickly turned physical. As some in the crowd chanted USA, USA, and others repeatedly urged them to stop, Wilson was seen being knocked to the ground, kicked and struck before getting back up and punching back. Video shows that the brawl continued until police and other attendees intervened. I mean, this fight was started by the Black Lives Matter guy. But we're the fascists. You know, they're the ones out there doing the killing. They're killing. They're trying to kill. They're going to a vigil and saying F the person who the vigil is for and instigating fights. But we're the fascists. We're the violent ones? I don't think so. I don't think so. And, you know, they just don't see it. Let me pull this other one up here. Hold on. Oh, I have to wait for an ad, maybe. Hold on. Okay. Let me pull this one up. This is CNN. Okay. This is Abby Phillips on CNN. Listen to this nonsense.
I want to just, in a moment of grace, honestly, the day that he was killed was a day that just filled people on Capitol Hill who knew him personally with so much rage, anger, and sadness. And there was a lot of high tensions, a lot of crazy things said, that maybe a day later, the tensions are slightly lower. But that being said, I do think that there's a debate happening in the conservative sphere right now about how to respond. Is it an eye for an eye? Is it war?
What the hell is she talking about? How you know, we've been talking about this, sadly, you know, I wish we were talking about other things, but, you know, this happened. We've all been talking about this, conservatives. Who's talked about eye for an eye in civil war? None of us. You know, we're talking about love, we're talking about peace, we're talking about vigils. And all you're getting from the left, if they're not slandering Charlie Kirk, saying that he said things that he didn't say and held beliefs he didn't believe in, they're out there accusing us of committing violence. They're the ones that just murdered the number 2 guy in the entire MAGA movement, Charlie Kirk. Number 1's, of course, the president.
Lower, but that being said, I do think that there's a debate happening in the conservative sphere right now about how to respond. Is it an eye for an eye? Is it war? Is it... I'm not sure I'm seeing a lot of appetite, frankly, for the coming together of this all. But I think they have a decision point to make about where to go next.
You know, see, this Abby Phillips on CNN, what she's saying is still, we're the problem. Conservatives are the problem. MAGA are the problem. Our guy's dead in a coffin in a funeral home. But we're the ones that she's worried about?
And that'll be crucial for the whole country.
Look, I think AOC's allusion to the president is important. Let's remember that the president had an Oval Office video blaming radical leftists before we even had any idea who the shooter was.
Well, and he was right. So what is this guy talking about? What's with that haircut? What is he talking about? The president said it was a radical leftist before we even knew. Well, who the hell else would go out and shoot the most prominent conservative activist in the history of the United States? Of course it was a leftist. You don't have to have that brilliant mind of Joy Reid that idiot was talking about earlier to know that it was a liberal that shot Charlie Kirk. What a jerk.
Decision point to make about where to go next. And that'll be crucial for the whole country.
Look, I think AOC's allusion to the president is important. Let's remember that the president had an Oval Office video blaming radical leftists before we even had any idea who the shooter was.
It's a good thing this guy's not a detective. What a dummy.
With no allusion to any other people like the representative from Minnesota who was also assassinated. One.
Again, the representative from Minnesota was killed, and that's a tragedy, but was killed by a radical liberal that had the No Kings March event flyers in the back of their car when they arrested them. And they keep trying to say that was some MAGA attack. No, that guy was a radical liberal Democrat.
Two, I think there's a much larger conversation that, Abby, you've alluded to on social media about how our social media incentivizes politicians to be extreme, to get the
back to Charlie Kirk's being, it's his fault. It's Trump's fault.
Clicks, to get the engagement. No one should have watched that video, and Twitter should not have served it to so many people, right? But that is what the algorithm is doing, and it's incenting people on both sides to make extreme statements that is making our politics a lot worse.
Where's the extreme in the MAGA movement, guys? Where's this extreme in the MAGA movement that they keep talking about? They've shot our president. They tried to shoot him again. They've assassinated Charlie Kirk. They killed the kids in Minneapolis. The kids at that Christian school in Nashville a while back. I mean, where is the Republicans? When the Bernie Sanders Democrat that shot Steve Scalise and tried to kill the entire Republican baseball team. Where are these violent MAGA people that they keep talking about? Now, if you're new to my channel, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. Oh, boy. Okay. Now, I have been talking the last couple days that there are two well-known household name conservative influencers who have been all over doing interviews, some on television, some online, since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and both of them were pissing me off. I have not mentioned their names. I'm going to give you one of their names in just a moment because they've outed themselves and been very specific about what it is they're doing. So there's I'm not going to name the other one right now. There's two very famous conservative voices out there. Both of them have been doing all these interviews. One's been on TV like every 5 minutes with crocodile tears. And both of them, in their minds, have been angling to take over Turning Point USA. Now we know it's going to be Charlie Kirk's wife, who had that incredible address to the nation last night that we all watched. And my stream this morning was all about that. If you missed that, go back and watch it when this one's done. And I haven't told you who they were because, all of us are going through this grieving period, and there's a lot, and it's very, and I haven't wanted to do it, but one of them has just outed themselves, so I'm going to do it now, and that's Ben Shapiro. This is crazy. Ben Shapiro, he did this on his show. Ben Shapiro vows to, quote, pick up that blood-stained microphone where Charlie Kirk left it, and says he'll host many campus tours to replace Charlie Kirk. This is in the Gateway Pundit. I mean, you guys can guess on who the second one is that I'm talking about. I'm not going to say their name yet, but Ben Shapiro was one of the two that I was talking about. I'm not going to confirm or deny names, but Ben Shapiro has outed himself, so I'm going to go through the article. Oh, I just lost the article. Let me pull it back up. That's right. He unmasked himself. So let me pull it up. Here we go. It's in the Gateway Pundit. All right. Ben Shapiro vows to pick up that bloodstained microphone where Charlie Kirk left it, says he'll host many campus tours to replace Charlie Kirk. Daily Wire founder and podcast host Ben Shapiro seemingly outlined his plans to pick up the torch, or as he put it, the blood-stained microphone of the late conservative leader Charlie Kirk after his assassination earlier this week. As many conservative circles wonder who will be the next Kirk, the vultures are swarming, looking for their opportunity to strike. And he is one of the two that I've been telling you about the last couple of days. Ben Shapiro this is in the Gateway Pundit I'm reading from. Ben Shapiro wasted no time throwing his hat in the ring to be the next, announcing the day after Kirk's death that he will tour college campuses, many of them this year. We're going to pick up that blood-stained microphone where Charlie left it, Shapiro callously told his audience, painting all awful visual. Yeah. Trying to talk tough, like the late Andrew Breitbart, he saber-rattled, and to those who would intimidate, who would seek to stop us, who would seek to end free discussion, who believe that they have ownership over public spaces and could violently threaten and kill people who speak freely, we are not going to stop. And I have two words. This is Ben Shapiro talking. F you. And he said the words, F you. But Charlie's wife, Erica, on Friday gave a far more ominous warning to the radical left and the globalist regime responsible for Charlie's assassination, warning that they have no idea the beast they just awakened in her, Charlie's followers, and across the entire world. She further emphasized that the mission of Turning Point will continue, including the campus tours, the organization's flagship America Fest event in Phoenix, Charlie's radio show, and Charlie's voice. Ben Shapiro, who is not known for using foul language, decried what he called BS, used the profanity again, declaring, I will be coming to college campuses, many of them this year. And seemingly that will be one to never let Charlie Kirk's voice die. I mean, come on. Come on. Michael Savage posted on X, Ben Shapiro, have you no shame? Charlie's body is not even buried, and you're trying to cash in on his reputation. We're going to pick up that bloodstained microphone where Charlie left it. He's pretty outraged. Yeah, just a jerk. He's one of the two I've been talking about the last couple days. Yeah. I'm not going to confirm or deny any other names until they say something stupid. But Ben Shapiro outed himself. He was one of them. The other one has been aggravating me even more, but maybe it's just because I've been seeing them. Yeah. Well, the Daily Wire's in big trouble, right? Ever since Candace left, it's all been downhill, right? Then they dropped Brett Cooper, and they had a disaster on their hands after that. They got rid of his partner, and they've been in a major decline since it began with getting rid of Candace Owens. So they're in a desperate state. So I guess they figure this is their chance to make their comeback. Yeah, disgusting. Ben Shapiro could never take Charlie's place. Well, Ben Shapiro is just not likable. He's not a likable guy. Is he? Do you guys think he's likable? I don't like him at all. He talks too fast. Doesn't mean I agree with him on some things sometimes, but he's not likable. He talks as fast as an auctioneer, and he's a geek, right? Charlie Kirk, he's cool. You know what I mean? He's cool. I was talking about this the other day. Charlie Kirk, what he had is this movie star like charisma. Ben Shapiro, and he's cool, right? I mean, didn't you hear President Trump was talking about how Barron wanted to meet Charlie Kirk, so he set it up so Barron could meet Charlie Kirk. Who wants to meet Ben Shapiro? Please give me a break. No, he's in love with himself, and he just couldn't control himself. I mean, he could not control himself. He had to try to make his move, and he's the first vulture to expose himself. So, this is a lady called me about this on the stream this morning. on this story, and I had not seen it this morning, but I went and looked it up. Look at this. New Jersey and Los Angeles defy President Trump's order to fly the flags at half-staff in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. The Washington state governor is honoring the Minnesota Democrats killed in June in half-staff orders. And again, starting with that, here they go again, right? It's the third one in a row on the stream here. Democrats saying the Minnesota Democrats were killed by a Republican when they were killed by a Democrat that was hired by Waltz, and it was just their vice presidential nominee, and he had the No Kings March flyers in his car when they arrested him, right? They conveniently have forgotten about all that. This is the first time that I ever know of I have never heard of people refusing to fly a flag at half-staff. I've never heard of something like that before. Have you guys? Never. I've never seen something like that. Now, we did get an update on this on this story from Michigan that I covered this morning. These kids, they went to Office Depot. They prepaid to print up a bunch of flyers advertising a vigil for Charlie Kirk, and the manager refused to print them. I'll play you the audio, but the update is the manager has since been fired by Office Depot. Watch this.
We came in for an order earlier to print a poster for a vigil tonight.
Yeah, so
for somebody that passed.
Propaganda.
It's not
It's propaganda. I'm sorry. We don't put that here.
Alrighty. So, what's your name?
Carol, I'm print supervisor.
I'm one of the managers.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, we do
So
not
they
print-
say they don't print
we don't
political
print-
propaganda.
No.
So this is somebody that passed away a couple years
That's
ago from
political
Ebola.
propaganda, unfortunately. I'm
So
sorry.
this is for a prayer tonight, for a prayer vigil.
It's still propaganda, unfortunately.
I printed
What
other
makes it
things.
propaganda?
Because he's a political figure, and I don't have to.
Right.
Yeah.
Our general manager is going to be in on Monday. If you
No,
want to
it's
speak
totally
further on the
we
subject,
have
you would
lots
like
of
to.
you're
different
welcome
areas.
to.
Yeah, well, the general manager came in over the weekend and fired her. I tell you, these people on the left. Yeah, sickness. It's a sickness. That's exactly right. It's a sickness. I still can't believe he's gone either. 18,000 new chapter requests since Kirk spoke last night. That's amazing. Yeah. You've seen a lot of these updates online. A lot of these liberals that have been doing the dancing and everything, they've been getting fired from jobs, and this is a good thing, because what's happened is these weirdos have been running the country. They've been running our whole society these past 4 years. Lunatics like this woman at the Office Depot. Yeah, she does look difficult to work with. And what was up with her hair? She looked like she had a wig on, like a clown wig or something. I don't know. But you do have to stand up to these bullies. It is not okay to go out and celebrate after someone's been assassinated. I'm sorry. And Office Depot, I've never heard of Office Depot refusing to let somebody print something up on their copy machines before. Have you? No, I've never heard of such a thing. And, they call it fighting back. I don't like to say fighting back. We're standing up for what's right. And these weirdos and bigots and freaks and geeks and wokesters and tyrants that have been running the country these last few years, you got to stand up to them. That's all. We're just standing up to them. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, this is good. So Jean-Pierre was hauled into the committee and questioned about the auto pen. And the Daily Caller was out there asking her questions, and she does not look happy. Listen.
Mentally, psychologically, neurologically, or physically?
What did you tell the committee?
I like it. It's a perp walk, right? It's like a perp walk.
Did you know that the president had cancer while he was still in office?
Oh, I love it. Oh, man. Yeah, she did not look happy at all. At all. Nope. Yeah, that was definitely a perp walk kind of thing. No doubt about it. I love it. Oh, man. And she doesn't look happy coming out of the meeting either. You know, this was that one of the House hearings on the auto pen. She does not look happy. So the questioning did not go the way she wanted it to go. There's no way. No, not the way she's acting. That's not. One thing I understand about these Democrats, they thought they were going to be in power forever. They thought we were done. And not only are we back in power, our whole movement has grown so much, and they're freaking out about it. That's why all these things are happening. I mean, they're just in complete freak out mode. Now, I wanted to play. Okay, this is the president from Fox yesterday talking about what he wants to happen to the assassin.
I hope he's going to be found guilty, I would imagine, and I hope he gets the death penalty. What he did, Charlie Kirk was the finest person. He didn't deserve this. He worked so hard and so well. Everybody liked him. I've been watching. Even the left is having a hard time. They fired this guy Dowd from MSDNC, who's a terrible guy, terrible human being. But they fired him. I hear they're firing other people. And, we're talking about radical left. Now, they're a little bit, but radical left networks and cable channels, horrible channels like MS. I always call it DNC because it's, somehow affiliated with the Democrat National Committee. So, it's a little statement you make. But MSNBC, but NBC, ABC, CBS, they're all terrible.
Yep.
Absolutely terrible and unfair. But even they have been giving it sort of like this can't be allowed to happen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, correct. Because we have grown-ups running the country again. That's it. We have grown-ups running the country instead of lunatic, racist, woke lunatics.
Don said to me, he's sort of like a son to you. Charlie got involved like 11 years ago, I think. He started, he's a brilliant guy, but he didn't go to college. He actually started in college. He was so bored that he left. He would have done very well in college if he wanted to, but he was brilliant. I always said, can you get a degree because you're sort of used to having people like you went to college, right? Yeah. But he just didn't have the patience to do it. And he started this really during what would normally be college, maybe even sooner than that, but what would normally be college. And it's become a movement. And, I won youth. A Republican never wins youth, but I won youth. I will tell you, TikTok helped me, but he helped me with TikTok. But he helped me with youth. I've never seen a person who's, in this case, older than the people we're talking about, in many cases. I've never seen young people or any group go to one person like they did to Charlie. Mm-hmm. He'd go out to Arizona, to any school, to Utah, where he was, but any school, also East Coast, anywhere. And he would have bigger rallies than any radical left speaker. And it was killing them because he'd have 5,000 people show up, 10,000 people show up. They'd go and they'd have 50 people, but they talk big league, right? Now, he was an unbelievable talent, but he was it wasn't really so much a talent. He just really believed it. He just believed it. He loved young people. He wanted to help young people. And he didn't deserve this. He was truly a good person.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Pretty powerful, isn't it? It really is. Yep. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe, guys. Yeah, and you can tell. I mean, they killed one of the president's best friends. Oh yes. Oh, I don't want to forget to play this. I meant to play this one this morning. I didn't get to it.
We're going to Memphis. Memphis is
that's the next city.
Deeply troubled. And the mayor is happy. He's a Democrat mayor.
Now the mayor's had to take that back. He's like, well, that's not exactly what I said, but he said it.
The mayor is happy. He's a Democrat mayor. The mayor is happy, and the governor, Tennessee, the governor is happy. Deeply troubled. We're going to fix that just like we did Washington. I would have preferred going to Chicago.
Yeah, well, we'll get to Chicago soon enough. You know, you look at everything the Democrats are doing, right? They're telling us that an assassinated man, it was his fault he got assassinated. They're coming out in favor. So it's not just that they've been advocating and defending criminals in D.C. and all these other cities. They're out there defending drug traffickers from the cartels that Trump's taken down, and they're also defending an assassin and justifying his actions. You know, if there's a wrong side to take, the Democrats will be sure to take it. You know, they're on the wrong side on everything. Now, this was a big drop, and you know, so much is going on because of the assassination and the manhunt. You know, on Friday when President Trump did this interview, this one here got kind of lost in the mix. But if this would have been a regular week, this is what would have been the lead story.
But you know, they have professional agitators. They're professional. I had one the other night. I went into a restaurant and this woman stood up. I looked at her immediately. She had money. She wasn't serious. They get paid for it. They're professional, from Soros and other people. And we're going to look into Soros because I think it's a RICO case against him and other people. Because this is more than like protests. This is real agitation. This is riots on the street. And we're going to look into that. But,
wow.
You know,
so he said that they are going to look into George Soros. We've been waiting to hear that for a long time, right? I mean, that's the best. That's the best. Because Obama has got a lot of responsibility in all of this, but Soros, his responsibility is just as equal. Oh, here he is. Here's President Trump talking about Zohan in his hometown of New York City.
Mr. President, see these buildings? A lot of them in New York City you built.
I do.
That's called capitalism, not socialism. We have Mamdani, who is ahead in the polls here. What's your reaction?
It's amazing. It's up by 20. I call him my little communist. He's my little communist mayor.
Mr. President?
My little communist. I'm going to have to remember that one. My little communist mayor. I love that. You know, my little communist, that's, you know, part of that is to humiliate him and also call him out for what he is. You know, you think that one will stick, my little communist? I think so. I'm waiting for Mamdani to respond to that one. Now, this is an amazing story that the president told about Charlie Kirk and Barron. Have you seen this?
You as a dad, and a lot of dads and moms are wondering what to say. What do you say to them?
So Barron's a very good student. And Barron came to me and he said, Dad, I'd like to meet somebody that you know. Who? Charlie Kirk. I said, what? You know, I thought he was going to say, I want to meet like King Charles or something, like we're going to meet soon, right? But he said, really, you want? And I set up a lunch with him, and he came back. He said, that guy's great, Dad. That guy's great. You know, it was cute. He's unbelievable. I don't know what it was. Charlie had a magic over the kids, and large numbers of them. And very diverse, black, white. Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody, the young women and boys, and I've never seen anything like it. And it was all good. I mean, it was good stuff. It wasn't some of the stuff you read about where they're in favor of all these horrible things. It was really good stuff. And we lost an unbelievable warrior.
Yeah, we did. That's a great story, isn't it? Oh, yeah. My little commie. Yeah, that's Mamdani's nickname. Trump's good with the nicknames. He's very good. Well, you know, he's into branding. He knows how to brand, doesn't he? No, that's a definite good one. My little commie. Yep. Yeah. Oh, boy. You think Barron would ask his dad to get him to meet Ben Shapiro, who thinks he's going to take over? I don't think so. If you're new, guys, make sure you subscribe. This is definitely where MAGA comes to talk. My name's Brian. Welcome, everyone. And, of course, if you would like to support my channel, go to mypillow.com. Use my promo code Kane at checkout. There's a link to my personal My Pillow page in the live chat, and that link's also in the description of the video. And with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, you can take advantage of all the specials. And I've been talking to you guys this week about the 6-piece My Pillow towel set. They're back in stock, but they have a very limited quantity because they're on special. Okay, they're $30 off. Normally $69.98, just $39.98 with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And yeah, it's a good deal. Plus, there's a free shipping offer as well, so take advantage of that. And every time you use my promo code Kane at checkout, you are supporting all of my content. So I do appreciate that. Thanks so much. There's a link in the live chat and also in the description of the video. Promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, guys. Okay, I would very much appreciate that. Oh man, so it has most definitely been a rough few days. This is Stephen Miller on Fox last night.
There is a domestic terrorism movement in this country. When you see these organized doxing campaigns where the left calls people enemies of the republic, calls them fascists, says they're Nazis, says they're evil, says they have to be removed, and then prints their addresses, what do you think they're trying to do? They are trying to inspire someone to murder them.
That's right.
That is their objective. That is their intent. And when you see online, Sean, as we've seen for the last few days, tape after tape after tape of federal workers, bureaucrats, staffers in the Pentagon, educators, professors, healthcare workers, nurses, celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. These are radicalized people. There is a domestic terrorism movement in this country. And let me tell you something I've not shared with anybody, but the last message that Charlie Kirk gave to me before he joined his creator in heaven was he said that we have to dismantle and take on the radical left organizations in this country that are fomenting violence. That was the last message that he sent me before that assassin stole him from all of us.
Yep.
And we are going to do that under President Trump's leadership. I don't care how. It could be a RICO charge, a conspiracy charge, conspiracy against the United States, insurrection, but we are going to do what it takes to dismantle the organizations and the entities that are fomenting riots, that are doxing, that are trying to inspire terrorism, and that are committing acts of wanton violence. It has to stop. And my message is to all of the domestic terrorists in this country spreading this evil hate, you want us to live in fear? We will not live in fear, but you will live in exile. Because the power of law enforcement under President Trump's leadership will be used to find you, will be used to take away your money, take away your power, and if you've broken the law, to take away your freedom, Sean.
Yeah, that's right. You know, because what's happened here is now, I mean, we've known this, and you know, Stephen Miller's known it for a long time. But now the whole country knows what we've known. The Democrat Party is nothing more than a domestic hate group. And you know, I was talking this morning, Dinesh D'Souza had a brilliant tweet yesterday. Let me pull it up. I showed it this morning, and it was really, really good. Really good. Let me pull it up. Here it is. Okay. And it's about Charles Manson. Dinesh D'Souza. Charles Manson didn't murder anyone, but convinced his followers that it was fine. And they were even obligated to do it. Are today's professors training a new generation of young people to pursue political objectives by any means necessary, including political assassination? That's questions asked by Dinesh D'Souza, and it's a very true statement what he's talking about. And it's not just the college professors either. It's the mainstream news, right? The MSNBCers, the Joy Reids, the Jim Acostas, and all of these people. Are they doing to young people in this country what Charles Manson did to the Manson family, inspiring them to do what they want to do but don't have the guts to do, or know that it's wrong and don't want to get in trouble or something? And I'd say, yeah. And what Dinesh D'Souza is saying here is that they on the line we have I was telling Steve Kane. Oops, sorry guys, I hit the wrong button. What Dinesh D'Souza is saying here is that the left are they're instigating all this violence. They're inspiring this violence, and they're not doing it by accident. is what he's saying too. They're doing it quite on purpose. And that's where you've gone over the line. They're inciting violence. The incitement of violence is not covered by the First Amendment. In fact, it's one of the very few ways that your free speech doesn't apply when you're inciting others to commit violence, like Manson was, like MSNBC is doing, like school teachers are doing, not just college professors, right? And, you and I have known this. We've all known this. Well, thank you for that super chat. Thank you. You can be pro-American or a leftist. You can't be both. Absolutely. Thank you for that super chat. Absolutely. You can't be both. Correct. Well, the Democrat Party is a very small organization now. But I want you to think about this. All these lunatics, like that idiot manager that got fired at Office Depot, and all these people that are making these videos, that if Donald Trump had not won re-election, those are the people that would have been running the country. Those would be the people that are on the staff of Kamala Harris if she were president today, or even a Biden auto pen second term. Think about that. Look at what President Trump saved us from. He saved us from those idiots running the country. If you're new to the program, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I live stream every day. Usually I take live calls, but I'm not in the studio right now. But tomorrow you'll catch me in the studio taking live calls. And thanks for watching, everyone. I'll talk to you next time.